Okay. Right. Next, what we want to do is we actually want to move this domino. Now, to do that, I'm going to use the translate option. So, with the translate, if I just hover my mouse over there and I grab it, and just move it a little bit and stop it, okay, I've got an BPY Blender Python OPS transform.translate. That's what I want. If you get another duplicate move, then keep trying just from different angles. You don't want duplicate move, you just want to translate. And I did that just by dragging, left clicking on the highlighted object and moving it around. And that gives me this nice, there it is, BPY transform translate. Now you notice when I clicked on that, both of these are highlighted. I don't really want that. This is why I press the A. So A to highlight everything, A to highlight nothing. Don't worry about that being red, ignore that. And I right click on that last command. So I'm down the bottom, right click, Control C, down here, Control V, and I pasted it. Right, let's talk through the bits I need and the bits I don't. Right, the first thing is transform value. I've got some nice equals. If you start getting curly brackets in here, by the way, you're using the wrong command. You want to change it. So the translate means to move. So we're moving this. The way we're moving it is on our values are X, Y, and Z. I just want to move it along the Y coordinate. Now I've moved this down to the side here, and you can see the Y is the green one. So I just want to move it forward, as it were, as you would lay dominoes. So the other two I want to be 0, so I'm going to delete those and just make them. Now, if I hit the delete key here or hit the 0 key, nothing happens, and that's because my mouse is on the wrong screen. Move the mouse over to the Python screen. If I've highlighted that, I tap 0, and it. Okay. So if it's not doing anything, just look always where your mouse is. Same with this. That's my Z. I don't want to move it up or down, so 0, 0. Now, for the Y direction, I've actually worked out the dominoes. You want to move it forward by 1.4. It's a good distance. So this first part now is going to move by the value of X, Y, and Z by Y by 1.4. The next bit gets confusing. I'm going to show you this from above. If I'm moving my dominoes and I want to go in a straight line, I could do that, and that's great. But if I want to go around a curve, it gets slightly different. So bear with me here. So I'd make a domino, I'd rotate it slightly, I'd make a domino, I'd rotate it slightly, I'd make a domino, I'd rotate it slightly. Now what's happening here obviously is it's not curving round. When I move it each time, it's just going forward in the same direction. I don't want that. I need to make sure that when I move it, it can only move in the direction that the domino is facing. Now, let's undo those and look at that original domino. So the direction it's facing in coordinates is where the green arrow is, and that's our Y direction. So I want to move it along just in that Y direction. Right, I undid in the demonstration and deleted it, so give me a second here. Copy, paste. So I want to force it not to move left or right. So this is where we constrain along an axis. X, Y, Z. I want to stop it from moving along left or right, so I want to constrain it on that axis. So I say true with a capital T on there. Now that would be all well and good, but there's actually two sets of axes. If you think about it like looking at a map, you've got the direction you're facing, and which is your forward, left, right, but you've also got the direction of the map, north, south, east, west. Now everything shares the same north, south, east, west. That's kind of like a global coordinate, a global direction. And you are facing just the way you're facing and nobody else. That's kind of like a local coordinate. That's your local direction. Now with the dominoes, if we were to constrain it along the global, that would be like saying only move north. If we say that this Y is north only, then to say constrain on there, it would just go in a straight line. We don't want that. We want it to only go in a straight line locally to where you're facing, i.e. only walk forward. So not only do we have to constrain the y-axis there, but we have to tell it that we're talking about local, i.e. just look at what the object that we're doing is facing, and it's its own private x, y, z, not the global one. So i.e. only constrain forward rather than constrain going north. So I change global, this has to be in caps, to local. Now it will always have to stick on that green arrow depending on where the domino is facing. We don't actually need mirror force or proportional disabled or proportional edit fall off smooth, and we're not changing the scale, so I can actually highlight all of those and with my mouse over this bit hit the delete key. Make sure there is a comma still though, you need one comma. You do need the release confirm equals true. Now at that point I'm going to save, making sure that's highlighted. I can test it. That works. If I rotate slightly and test it, and you notice that it's always moving, not with the global axis, but with the local axis of just that domino. Okay, right, if you now give that a go, and away you go.